today's brief video, I want to share with you guys one simple shift in mindset that played an instrumental role in my quitting weed journey that I promise you or anyone who is struggling with weed addiction is capable of. Guys, if you need help with this, there's a free 80-page workbook that I wrote on quitting weed. You can find access to that workbook with the link in the video description, the link in the pinned comment, or the link in my profile. There's also some other paid resources there too, including our Living Weed Free in 2023 program, which is launching very, very soon. Deadline to register is January 1st. Okay. The shift in mindset was deciding that I was no longer an addict and deciding that I was no longer going to identify as an addict. And this is one major beef that I have with a lot of the addiction recovery community, whether it's Marijuana Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, or Narcotics Anonymous. Take Alcoholics Anonymous. Hi, my name is Frank and I am an alcoholic. Hi, my name is so-and-so and I am an addict. In my opinion, this is very, very dangerous behavior because when I would quit smoking weed or quit consuming a drug, whatever the drug may be, I would eventually, a period of time would go by, I'd be sober, a stressful situation would happen, I would then relapse, and I would throw up my hands, and I would say, Frank, this is the way it is. This is the way it's always going to be because you are an addict, and you are behaving exactly how an addict would behave. And suddenly, I would use that as justification for my actions involving weed or other drug consumption. So I would quite literally use the label of being called an addict to justify my continued use of drugs. Because if I'm an addict and it's a lifelong problem, it's a lifelong condition, well, then I'm never going to escape this thing. I'm never going to change my behavior because I'm being told it's nearly impossible to because I will never not be an addict. And changing my mindset, creating the shift in mindset, deciding to no longer identify as someone who's an addict or with other people who are, in theory, addicts, was a major breakthrough in my quitting weed process. And I want to explain to you guys how I had that breakthrough. What I want you to do, and this is something we're going to be doing in our Living Weed Free 2023 program. This is kind of a sneak peek of one of the several activities we're going to be doing. I want you guys to go get out a pen and paper, okay? And I want you to write down 7 to 10 positive things about yourself. And if you can't think of positive things about yourself, I want you to go ask a friend or a family member. What are some positive characteristics or some positive traits that you or them would use to describe yourself, okay? And if you can't think of any and you don't have friends or family members around to help, I want you to think of what positive traits would you like to have or identify with in the future. Because here's me now, 6+ years without smoking weed, right? Sober from various other substances. And if you ask me, Frank, how would you describe yourself? Nowhere in the description of myself am I going to say I'm an addict. I'm going to say I'm a chiropractor. I'm going to say I'm an addiction recovery coach. I'm going to say I'm an influencer. I'm going to say I'm a husband. I'm going to tell you I'm a soon-to-be father. I'm going to tell you I'm a valued brother to my sisters. I'm a valued sibling to my parents. I am a valued member of my community. I'm someone who is interested in education, health, fitness, nutrition. I am everything but a weed addict. You guys are so much more than an addict. So don't let something label you as such because that is not you. So the question then becomes, well, then what is this then? If I'm not an addict, what is this? You are a human being who has a problem. That problem being addiction. And the reality is we all have problems. For some people, it's addiction. Some people, it's diabetes or heart disease or some other illness. For some people, it's a problem in their marriage. For other people, it's a problem in their finances. Maybe you live in New York and there's a blizzard outside right now like there is here. Maybe your car didn't start this morning. We all have problems. And when we have a problem, it means there is a solution, which means There is an ending. There is a resolve to this problem. But if we're under the guise of I am an addict and this is a lifelong disease, this is a lifelong problem, where and when does it end? How does it end? Does it ever end? For some people, sadly, the answer is no. And I think the reason the answer is no is because they never have this shift in mindset and they always identify as the stoner. They always identify as the weed smoker. They always identify as something that they are not. You have so much more to offer the world than being Mary the addict, James the addict, right? Gene the addict, Ted the addict. You have so many more attributes. You have so many more traits to offer the world. What I need you to do, though, is to start to identify as those traits. Example, my name is Frank, and I am into health and fitness. My name is Frank, and I want to value my future finances. My name is Frank, and I want to gain interest in, I'll make politics. I could care less about politics, being honest. But you get where I'm going with this. Pick out a number of traits that you see yourself identifying with and start thinking of yourself as that person. If you see yourself as a happy, healthy person, start working on your health. As you start to feel healthier, chances are you're going to start to feel happier. If you see yourself as a husband, a wife, something like that, right? Work on the relationships. Start to work towards creating that lifestyle for yourself. Take actions that are going to put you in a position to where when you go to introduce yourself and someone says, hey, give me an elevator pitch on who you are, you can be happy and proud and excited about talking about who you are and where you're at in life. But the last thing I want you to do is sit here and say, I'm an addict. Because if that's the case, you're never going to leave my YouTube channel. You're never going to leave my videos. You're never going to get on to the next thing. The answer, in my opinion, to addiction is growth. And we will start to grow when we have a bigger picture of what it is that we want to become or the person that we want to grow into. Addiction is what robs us of that growth. It's what robs us of that future image of self. That's what addiction does. It wants to keep us stuck in the past. So if we're going to pursue sobriety, quitting, addiction, recovery, we need to get out of the past. And I'm not going to sit here and identify as a past version of myself that I can say with confidence no longer exists. That version of me, I am confident to say, is pretty dead. Granted, I still do have addictive traits. I still do got an addictive personality. That's how I built this YouTube channel. But I'm not going to sit here and call myself a weed addict because it's far from the truth. I crave weed as much as someone who probably has never smoked weed at this point in my life. And that is zero. And that's exactly where I want to help get you to. So check out the pinned comment, check out the link in the video description, and really, if you need help, make 2023 your year to quit. Seriously, I mean that. We have a very comprehensive program, Living Weed Free in 2023. This is a sneak peek at one of the activities that we actually are going to be doing with people throughout that program to help create that shift in mindset to live a happy, weed-free life going into 2023. You don't want to do that. Get the free course. It's 80 pages. It's a free workbook. Immediate download. Completely free.